All right, let's make another simple C# program that does more than just hello world. It'll be a hello user program where we'll try to get some input from the user. So again, to make a project here, I'm just in my F drive C# folder, and I'm going to create a new folder in here for my project, and I'm going to call it hello user. Okay, and inside of here, I want to open up my command prompt. So again, we can just click right in the open space here and then type CMD. And that opens up our command prompt in that project folder. And to set up this folder to run C#, again, we go .NET new console. Right, and that sets up our project. Yay, there it is. And then we can go code dot, and that'll open up VS Code with our project folder, hello user. Okay, and we want program.cs, and I can get rid of this stuff. And I don't need that comment. We'll just go hello user by Mr. V. Oh, and we do need this. Yes, I need those assets. Thank you. And it should set up those assets. All right. And again, we just want our console here. So I'm going to just drag this to the side and this there. So they go side by side with each other. Perfect. All right. So hello user. So we're going to start with this right line here, and it'll be a simple program. I'm just going to ask the user for their name and maybe what time of day it is, and then give them a little greeting. So I'll just say, hello, what is your name, question mark. Okay, and then after I write that, I want to get some input. So whenever we do input, we need variables, right, to store the user's input. And C# is a strictly typed language where we need to define what type of variable we're going to do. So we want to have maybe a user name variable, but before I do username, I have to declare that it's going to be a string, right? So a string data type is storing text like this, right, where it's in the text instead of quotations. It's just letters, it's characters. So string username will be assigned, and then we use our console.readline, like so. Okay, and that'll read, excuse me, that'll read whatever the user types in the console. It'll pause, allow them to type something in. Whatever they type in and hit enter, it'll then return and store in this variable. Now it's giving me a warning here because of this. There's a nullable something converting null literal or possible null value to non-nullable type. I'm not going to go into too much detail why that is. Basically, we don't have to worry about this because we're running this as a console app with user input. It's never going to be null because they're always going to type in something. Even if they just hit enter, it'll be the empty string. So if you want to, you can ignore the warning, but it bothers me. So to get rid of it, you can do a hashtag and go nullable disable. And then it'll disable those warnings and it gets rid of it. Okay, so let's try to run this. I'm going to save this, and remember in our project folder, hello user, we can just go .NET run. And okay, so hello, what is your name? And now the cursor is waiting there, and I'll say Mr. V, and then the program ended. So no errors, that's good, but I didn't really do anything with my input. So the next step here, I guess, would be, well, let's get some more input too. I'll copy and paste this actually, and we'll change the question. Hello, what time of day is it? And again, time of day, it's going to be a string, right? And we'll just deal with different data types later. And then I can do my message console.writeLine. A little shortcut for that, if you just write WL, it should notice that as the first option, and then just do the autocomplete bit by hitting tab. So console.writeLine. And this time I want to write out something. I want to say hello plus, so we can do concatenation in C#. Username plus, so we'll do an exclamation mark because we're excited. Have a great, and then a plus sign again, time of day with a period at the end. Too many brackets and a semicolon. Okay, so no error messages. This should work. Gets the input, stores it in these variables, uses the variables to create an output. Let's see if this works. So instead of typing .NET run again, you can just hit the up arrow key in your command prompt, in your console, and it'll just cycle through the previous commands. Hit enter. Okay, hello, what is your name? Mr. V, what time of day is it? It is morning. Hello, Mr. V, have a great morning. Yay, that works. Okay, couple of things just to improve this. One thing that comes in handy is sometimes what I like to do at the beginning of my... Okay, so sometimes you can do this console.clear, I think it is. Yeah. So now every time I run the program, it'll clear the console and then print this stuff. Sometimes what comes in handy as well is a little /n. That's for a new line, and that helps create some space between things. So that final message will go there. So let's see if that works. So go back to here, hit the up arrow key, .NET run. So it should run that console.clear, and then goes, hello, what is your name? Great, Mr. V, morning time, and then see that /n gave me the new space there. And hello, Mr. V, have a great morning. There you go. Okay, oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to show is that in addition to the write line, there's also a write function. And the write function, the write line function writes the line and then moves the cursor to the next line, whereas the write function writes the line but then leaves the cursor there. So normally we want to put a little space here after our questions so that when I run this, you should see that it writes the line and the cursor just stays there, right? Because I did a write instead of a write line. So Mr. V, and then this one still has the write line, so you'll see that it goes to the next line there, right? Let's say it's afternoon now. Hello, Mr. V, have a great afternoon. Okay, one last thing to show you is doing this concatenation stuff works, but there's also a, can't remember what they call it, a string template or something like that. If you put, I gotta remember this, a $sign in front of your double quotations, let's just get rid of all of this. If you put a $sign in front, you can insert things. You can just say hello and then do braces like that. Username, exclamation mark, have a great time of day, period, like so. Okay, really a lot neater, doesn't have all those plus signs and all the multiple strings. Let's make sure that does what it's supposed to do. Oh, and actually let's change this to a write as well while I'm here. Okay, .NET run, to run the program. Mr. V, morning. Hello, Mr. V, have a great morning. Okay, so again, $sign in front of the double quotes. I think it doesn't work with single quotes. It has to be double quotes. And then just use these, the braces, the curly brackets, to insert values into there. Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's basics of user input, right? User input, read line into a variable, and then outputting using those variables. Okay, hope that made sense. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.